literally a last-minute shuffle for the Titans pack. Thank you, Andy. All over it as usual, sideline. Shannon Boyd returning from hamstring tightness. He was meant to come off the bench, named to start earlier in the week, moved to the bench an hour before kickoff and then recalled as they left the field post warm-up. That man, Michael Gordon, game 250 last week. He was fantastic, and there is the forlorn figure of Kiwi international Kevin Proctor. Warming up for his 6th game of the year.
Thanks, mate. You good, Hendo?
But rubbed out with that injury as detailed. Danny Levi gets us going on your Easter Sunday tickets. Kicking to the north of Seabus Super Stadium, where it's fielded by the Titans and Fotuaika, just 19 years of age.
Up together!
Playing his 4th game of the season. And now it's another of the big bodies up front for the Titans, Shannon Boyd. Hopefully over any of those hamstring issues which kept him out last week. Now Jai Arrow. 3 runs into this game. And Bryce Cartwright out to build on a really promising performance last week against his former club Penrith, as Gold Coast opened their wins for the season. They started with 4 straight defeats before beating Penrith. Newcastle alternatively successful round 1 and then 4 straight defeats. The completion from Tyrone Roberts is high down to Kenny Dowell, who catches safely and is dragged back into his 20. Gold Coast get through their first set as Ramian runs towards the middle of the grounds. And Ponga fires the pass through Pearce onto Edric Lee. Newcastle's leading try scorer so far this season with 4. Attack has been the problem for the Knights, as Fitzgibbon works his way 10 short of halfway. Clemmer, and they were up to meet him. In fact, it was Jai Arrow individually up to meet Clemmer. Much will be made of the battle between Ryan James and Clemmer, but Arrow might be looking for the Knights' number 8 as well. Here's Pearce under pressure from Rain, gets his kick away, and it's taken by Anthony Don.
It's been a lethargic start for the Newcastle Knights, hasn't it? We saw that first set, the Titans rolling downfield, particularly Shannon Boyd with a number of carries, found their way to the halfway line, and breakdown in communication there on the last play. Young Levi unable to find Pearce. We see a slow play the ball here, and Arrow now up towards the halfway line for the Gold Coast.
It was Dale Copley with the catch, the left winger for the Gold Coast Titans. And now Tyrone Roberts passing at halfway for Shannon Boyd. The recruit this season out of Canberra. And speaking of the Raiders, there next up, Raiders Broncos, the second leg of your Sunday ticket. Ash Taylor called by Ryan James, wearing 10 but moved onto an edge to accommodate that change.
I'm sorry, the line speed of the Newcastle Knights has been poor to start this game.
Now Roberts goes high. Again, it's out towards Kenny Dowell. This time it's a contest for the ball, and again, SKD is safe.
It's a great take there by Sean Kenny Dowell. Have you seen previous weeks? Sides do target him under the high ball, but he's been superb here the first 2 plays.
Nick, interesting you mentioned that line speed from Newcastle as they push to the left here, and Hymel Hunt, the former Gold Coast Titan, is wrapped up because in the warm-up they looked oh so busy. I've never seen Mitch Pearce do so much talking.
Well, you see here, I mean, James Gavay, we can see from the commentary box here. You can't see on your screen there, but his hands on hips. So too David Clemmer. Glasby there, that's his first carry of the set. When you're under pressure and you've lost 4 games in a row, you've got to come out with the baseball bat. You've got to come out with energy, bombard the middle third of this Titans ruck and try and blow them apart. And the Knights at the moment just look a little lethargic. Let's keep an eye on that.
Michael Gordon traps the ball, the veteran at the back. He was so good in the milestone game, a try. He kicked 5 from 5, 130-odd run metres, as the Titans twice came from behind to beat the Panthers at home last weekend. But can they go back-to-back? 2 desperate teams having spotted much of the rest of the competition. A fair start in 2019. Boyd. Middle of the ground, it's Taylor accelerating towards the line. Roberts through their hands, Gordon. And here's Peachy on that left edge with Copley outside of him. Through Cartwright, it comes now to Roberts' final play. That's the option. High, end over end again. Sean Kenny-Dowd, he's 3 from 3. And that time, he's tackled in the air. And the whistle is automatic.
He got that wrong, Mitch Rain. It was a nice kick there from the Titans. And you'll just see on your replay there, just hitting him around the legs as he was in the air. You can't do that. And a poor penalty, really. Ill-discipline from Mitch Rain. They're winning the battle of field position. And an easy opportunity now for the Newcastle Knights to get out of their end.
Boys, we mentioned pre-game statistics and how any stat can be made to look positive and or negative. Newcastle conceding 1,400 plus metres a game, but only 16 points. What it means, they're being bent through the middle repeatedly, but their scrambling or their disorganised defence has been good. We've seen a few examples of that already in the opening couple of sets.
It's a great point you make, Andy. Already the Titans at 150 metres, the Knights just on 77.
Well, it was a challenge that David Clement and James Gavitt spoke about this week. They need to be stronger. They need to step it up through the middle as Ponga runs out of room, bounces away from Kelly. Now it's Levi through Pearce. And Glasby is given no room. Mitch Rain around his legs, down the short side on the last play. The kick from Ponga is put onto the chest of Michael Gordon. The chase keeps them in their 10-metre zone.
And on the back of that penalty from Mitch Rain, the Knights now with the opportunity to really jam up defensively and keep the Titans in their half. Nice kick there from Kalen Ponga. Here comes Boyd again.
Busy start from Shannon. That hamstring warmed up and ready to go. And now Cartwright. He spoke about mentally trying to drop those 5'8" tendencies, although there's an offload from him. And Fotuaika, he made his debut in Canberra last season and played every game after that. Still a teenager. Last play as Roberts gets a torpedo bomb away. Sean Kenny-Dowd can't even get his hand to it. He took the first 3. The fourth was much harder, but he gets it eventually.
Well, they are very scary once you get a hold of them. They swing up in the air, they rotate, they move around, they swirl. You can see there, Kenny-Dowd was turned inside out.
Matty, on that kick, even more difficult for the Knights back 3 in this opening 40 minutes because the wind is coming from the south and favouring Newcastle.
You can see there in the replay box.
A bit of sun for Sean Kenny-Dowd to contend with as well. Sun, wind, and a torpedo bomb as Pearce drives it to the perfectly positioned Michael Gordon. And he gets back within a couple of metres of halfway. The defensive pressure from the Titans on that last set by Newcastle paying dividends. Here they are, tackle 2, just inside Newcastle territory. Fotuaika up the middle.
You can just see the body language of the Gold Coast Titans at the moment. Nick spoke about the Newcastle Knights, how flat they are. And look at the other end. The Titans, they're talking, they're moving.
Cartwright holds the ball and tries to free up Copley, but he's driven over the eastern sideline. The sliding defence from the Knights does the job.
Yeah, well, he fooled him once, didn't he, Jesse Ramian, when he got out on the previous play, drifting across field. This time, just far too strong. And absolutely dominates Bryce Cartwright, throws him into touch, and a big play there from Jesse Ramian. The Titans looking good, as you mentioned, Justin. Just getting plenty of attacking opportunity this afternoon already. And you see the completion rate's perfect from the Newcastle Knights, but the Gold Coast, they come up with their first error of the afternoon. Just giving them far too much time to attack in their half of the field at the moment, the Knights.
Bryce Cartwright fresh from his first try as a Titan. It came last week against Penrith, a penalty try. He's in his second season north of the Tweed after 4 years of NRL at Penrith.
Can I ask you, Hodjo, as a former centre, there's been a lot of debate and commentary to start this season about Jesse Ramian. You're not getting a lot of ball. There was times in games when you didn't get a lot of ball, but you went looking for it.
Yeah, I do, Mick. I think that just comes down to the play. I think sometimes, especially when you're on the right edge, where most players couldn't pass left to right. So you've got to go looking for the ball. You've got to get to your 5'8", say, listen, give me the ball. I need the ball. And try and come up with something. But if not, you've got to take it out of their hands, get in the dummy half and try and get into the game that way.
Jesse Ramien on the right-hand side for the Knights. They
Oh,
come to the left and go up the middle through Kalen Ponga, who kicks for Edric Leib, and Anthony Don gets to the ball first. The kick needed a bit more weight as Kalen Ponga looked to his left and saw the support coming through.
Oh, Matty, I would have liked to have seen him come off his left foot there and just take Gordon on. Got himself caught in two minds. The kick, I think he'd like his time over again.
He's yet to score in 2019, Kalen Ponga. In fact, he's on a 7-game try-scoring drought. One of the excitement machines of the NRL, on a lean streak indeed. But he has scored in both of his games against the Gold Coast, and as he burst through here, I thought here he is about to go 3 from 3 against the Titans.
I remember a game last year in Toowoomba where Ryan James played on the edge and Gareth Widdop and Matt Duffy terrorised him. And already there, you see him caught in that fourth defender or edge defensive position inside the half where they send a lot of traffic, and the leg speed and the evasion of Ponga just blew him apart. That's danger signs there for the Gold Coast defensive line and Ryan James.
You can see it there in the replay box. You just saw how filthy he probably was at himself, knowing that he had an opportunity, but he missed it. But I'm sure if he gets it again, he'll grab it with both hands. Kalen Ponga, what a superstar player.
Taylor for Arrow. Arrow leading the Titans for post-contact metres, and he shows us why right there. Taking another 5 or 6 after the defence arrived. Fotuwaika on the back of that. His second run in 3 plays. Moaki. Now Shannon Boyd gives it on. Taylor under pressure. Gordon slips out of one tackle. He's wrapped up. 10 out. It's given the stopper. Here's Taylor. His kick knocked on by Danny Levi. So the pressure will build on Newcastle.
We've got an issue with Ryan James here, boys. Right knee.
Yeah, he is wincing and he's in awful pain. The big forward for the Titans, he went clutching straight at that right knee. This was the kick from Taylor. Levi did a good job to get down, just couldn't hang on to it. As you see there.
That's not good.
James.
Let's just hope it's not an ACL.
Hodge, that didn't look good at all.
Normally, those type of big injuries seem to happen when there's not much going on. He was a long way off the ball there.
Gold Coast captain, now a 10-season player at the Titans in game 144. Let's hope this is only a scare for the 27-year-old Ryan James.
Already losing Coogan Hipgrave to a back injury. Kevin Proctor in the warm-up. With Jared Wallace suspended. They can ill afford to lose their captain Ryan James. And he looks in awful discomfort. Trainers with him here as he clutches at that right knee.
While they tend to Ryan James, next up on your Sunday ticket, the Canberra Raiders against the Brisbane Broncos. Canberra conceding only 44 points so far. The defence working. Can Brisbane crack it? And Ryan James assisted from the field. Originally, they signalled for the stretcher, Mick.
Yeah, they did. And I think just how tough he is, he just said, no. Ready? I can walk off. As you said there, being assisted, this is terrible for the Gold Coast Titans and Garth Brennan's side. You see there, huge concern on the Titans coach.
Andy Raymond will be all over this. We'll give you the early injury diagnosis as soon as we can, bearing in mind they're without Jared Wallace today and next week suspended. Nathan Pete's out with that pec injury. So the starting front row obliterated early in the season for the Titans. They have not taken a trick on the injury or suspension front.
No, but we saw the Roosters young guys take their opportunity on Friday night. They were superb against the Storm. Great opportunity for some of these young forwards now to stand up.
Rain on for Roberts. And now Copley to play it, 10 outs. In front of the uprights, they get a penalty.
Time's off. No, ball's over the 10-metre line.
There's the explanation.
Don't kick it away, James.
So precious seconds for Newcastle to have a breather before they turn to more goal line defence. Already given a rest with the delay as they removed Ryan James, and the Titans say, "We'll take some points, please, sir."
It's a bit of a strange one here. I would have liked to see the Gold Coast tap, maybe build some pressure. They look over to Newcastle Knights. There's still a lot of them on their haunches.
Two automatic points for Michael Gordon. He's 8 of 10 this season, an 81% kicker during his career. He is right in front, 10 out. It's about to be 2-0. I want to take something from this start, which has seen them complete 6 of 7 sets Gold Coast and spend 60% of the game in enemy territory.
And it's certainly been all the Titans, hasn't it? As I spoke about the Newcastle Knights, particularly their middle third forwards, who've looked lethargic to start this game. Surprising given where they're sitting on the ladder in their recent month of football. The Titans just getting themselves right, and that's what was key here this afternoon as Gordon moves in.
2-0 to the home team. Their fans hoping to see them go back-to-back. They beat Penrith 30-24, having started the first 4 rounds without victory. It's been a tight matchup over the years, head-to-head. Newcastle just in front. They've taken 11 of the 20 meetings, but here on the Gold Coast it is 4-all as we go down to Andy.
Okay, first update from the Gold Coast dressing room. They are hoping and hopeful that Ryan James' right knee injury is a contact injury, not a structural injury. So that would therefore rule out ACL, MCL, etc. We're going to get an update on that as we go further. Now, they've replaced a front rower playing edge back rower with a winger. As a result, Tyrone Peachy moves onto the left-hand side as a back rower. Bryce Cartwright has swapped sides and Philip Sammy is the replacement. He goes onto the wing. So quite a reshuffle for the Titans for the second time inside 20 minutes.
Thank you, Andy. Yes, we're struggling to keep up with it all. Drama before kickoff and drama in the first 15 minutes of this one as Garth Brennan is forced to shuffle the deck. No Kevin Proctor ruled out pre-game. Now no Ryan James, at least for the time being, although on the surface it looks like positive news. No structural damage, more a contact injury. Tyrone Roberts kicks down to Kalen Ponga under no pressure at the southern end. He's skipping across fields. No way through. Mitchell Pearce was happy to put his hand up this week and explaining the attacking problem, saying, as halfback and captain, I take responsibility for that. He's out to fire his side this afternoon. Levi to Gavitz and Boyd up quickly to rock the mop on top of James Gavitt's head. Now the penalty to Newcastle, too long on the tackle player.
Yeah, a little too long in the tackle there, and James Gavett, he gets the penalty for the Knights. Pearce deciding what they're going to do with this attacking set. Well, there's been some changes, as we mentioned, particularly on the edges for the Gold Coast Titans. I'd be surprised if the likes of Ponga and Pearce don't strike this set on one of those edges.
Clemmer to set them up. And he walks his way towards the Titans' 20-metre line. Levi called by Pearce, who has it down, goes on to Glasby.
Here we go, here comes Ponga to his left-hand side.
Where Pearce is waiting for the ball. Now Ponga. Ponga hits Fitzgibbon, and he was looking for Connor Watson. The ball goes to ground. Idea was right, execution poor.
Yeah, that's the play they love, the Newcastle Knights, don't they? They load up that right-hand side of the field for them, and they play nice and direct with Pearce. There's Ponga, and holds it up beautifully. Great tackle from Taylor. Just needed a little more discipline there, didn't he? Just needed to hang on to the ball there, Fitzgibbon. The play wasn't on. It was a high-risk ball. Just needed to stay there and build some pressure. Nonetheless, the Titans, great defence on their goal line. Force the Knights into error and they survive.
Kevin Proctor forced to be a spectator this afternoon.
Well, it's good signs for the Newcastle Knights, isn't it? We saw Caleb Ponga go through before. Fitzgibbon almost went through there before as well, so their attacking starting to come.
There's no surprise, Hodjo, they're attacking that right edge of the Gold Coast. So you've got Bryce Cartwright, who's had to come over. Dale Copley's moved in and around the reshuffle with the injuries. I'd imagine they'll persist there, given that's his favourite side to attack. Ponga, great run there from Fodderwake up to the 40-metre line.
Just what they needed as Anthony Don receives some treatment in back play. He's still being tended to by the trainer. The club's all-time leading try scorer is trying to get back in position. Final play, other side of the field, and they find Roberts high again. Ponga underneath it. There'll be a bit more pressure this time, but the catch is good. And Ponga tackled by Rain.
The outside backs here of the Newcastle Knights. We see Kenny down here with a terrific run. They need more of that. The middle forwards of the Knights are really struggling. They need their outside backs on board.
Now Pearce takes them on, Mick, and gets to halfway. It was Fodderwake making the tackle. Levi and Watson drops it. They had Gold Coast backpedaling under pressure. Now the counter-attack as Sammy runs and runs and runs. Philip Sammy just onto the field and over for the game's first try. They feast on the Newcastle mistake and the fleet-footed Philip Sammy races away.
Well, it was a brilliant set from the Newcastle Knights, started by Sean Kennedy. On the back of that, the captain responded, Pearce, and then a dreadful pass, absolute dreadful pass from Danny Levi, and they turn defence into attack, and Philip Sammy, the new man on the field, streaks down the left-hand flank and puts the Titans over for their first try of the afternoon. And there's the play from Levi. It was ordinary, and Rain recognised, got a lovely ball out there to that left-hand side, and it was Kelly who found Sammy, and he found the try line.
Philip Sammy. He scored 14 tries last season, including tries in 5 consecutive games mid-year. Perhaps surprising many that he hasn't seen more NRL early in 2019. He has speed, he has footwork, but he required only the former there as he raced away.
But you saw there, the Newcastle Knights were stripped for numbers, and that's the danger sometimes when the outside backs come in and try and have those midfield carries. If there's a drop ball like that, all it takes is 1 or 2 passes and you get caught napping, as you saw there. Philip Sammy just streaking down the sideline. You saw Jesse Raymond coming over in cover, but he was in the middle part of the field.
Well, it was great instinct, wasn't it, Justin, from Brian Kelly and also Mitch Rain in the centre third to recognise that and fire the ball. And back Gordon in from here, the way he's been hitting them lately.
He's kicked his last 8 in a row, Michael. But here he is from the eastern sideline. A tough one to make it 8-0. Michael Gordon steers it towards the post and steers it through the posts. He's an 80% career kicker and shows us why. The reason those flags are waving, gentlemen, for the first time this season, Gold Coast have scored the first try.
It was an impressive one too. It's been a great start from the Titans. Garth Brennan, with all the disruptions with injuries, he'd be very pleased. Hodjo, in 2016, people thought it was interesting that the Cronulla Sharks, we always carried Gerard Beale on our bench, but with this new HIA rule, and as we've seen some injuries, to have someone of the quality and the versatility of Philip Sammy, what a handy replacement.
Yeah, look, it's so important these days. I know most sides like to go in with 4 big middles, but you know, just to have that thought of maybe something happening like we saw here today, and having that outside back and the quality player of Phil Sammy pay dividends there.
Here's Fodderwake firing up for Gold Coast. So Newcastle last week against Manly conceded an 18-0 start to the opposition. Now it's the Titans ahead by 8. The Knights in a hole again. Shannon Boyd. And that despite all the disruption to the home team pre and post kickoff, with big name forwards out of the game. Rain for Peachy, who can't shrug clear of Levi. Last play as Roberts sends it into the sun again. Kalen Ponga forced to backpedal and ends up on his backside, but with ball under control, most importantly. Good take. Short Kenny Dow, who has run with vigour through the middle a couple of times, threatening to break clear. This is Hymel Hunt's made his debut as a Gold Coast Titan back in 2013. And now another mistake. They're inviting trouble, the Knights, as again the Titans counter and go straight through. Tyrone Roberts gaps them and races away. 2 tries, both from Knights mistakes. They'll do it all day if they're allowed, and for the time being, Newcastle are saying do it and do it again.
It's incredible. I don't know if I've seen that before. 2 errors, 2 tries. This time, Safidi comes up with the error. Ash Taylor to his little old mate Tyrone Roberts, the former Knight, and he just gets on the outside there of Barnett and slices through, loves the broken field, Tyrone Roberts, and gets the second of the afternoon. There's the error, just taking his eyes off the prize, Safidi. And again, the anticipation and the exuberance of the Titans' young halves, shifting the ball wide, and Roberts always enjoying that one against the former club. 12 points to 0 with a kick to come. Gold Coast.
If you have a nightmare, it's poor Mitch Barnett. That's twice that's happened. 2 drop balls that led to tries down his side of the field, and that's no disrespect to him, but I think at the moment the Newcastle Knights are just playing impatient football. They're starting to make some easy roads down the middle of the field, but it's just their ball control that's letting them down.
They're lethargic, Hodjo. I mean, the possession, it's 54%, so not alarming. It's enough to the Titans, but already they've run for 556 metres. The Newcastle Knights only at 340, and they're just getting blown apart. Errors now starting to creep into their game, and they're being punished.
He's slotted him from the sideline. He could do that from in front with his eyes shut. It is 14-0 to the Titans. Tyrone Roberts, 5 years as a Newcastle Knight, now scoring against them tonight, Sunday night, with Matty Johns, the 1985 Golden Boot recipient, Brett Kenny, alongside one of the modern greats, James Tedesco, joining Matty Johns in the panel after an afternoon of eating Easter eggs. Just try to control Matty Johns and the Sunday night crew, Michael.
Oh, absolutely. At the end of this game, it's grab a cup of tea, get the wife a couple of hot cross buns, a little bit of chocolate, and just watch this Raiders-Broncos game on Fox League will be an absolute belter.
You're driving while I watch on the Foxtel Go app, Michael.
I'll eat the chocolate for you. I'll be curled up on the couch with a blanket on the old legs.
It's a big game. Raiders-Broncos to follow. A good start of the afternoon for the Queenslanders as Fotuaika enjoying his return to the top grade this afternoon.
Matty already 81 metres for Fotuaika, as we see an error there.
Picked up by Barnett. Now Newcastle will try to do the Titans what the opposition has done to them. Score on the back of an error. Fitzgibbon. It is time for cool heads and steady hands at Newcastle, gifting the opposition a 14-0 start. Pearce, Ponga hits a hole and takes a high shot. More of a slap from Tyrone Peachy than anything,
easy,
but it is a
I got
penalty
him.
and an easy one to
Mitch.
award.
How good is he? Honestly, he just lights up every rugby league ground he plays on. He's such a pleasure to watch, Kalen. What a breath of fresh air he's been to our game. He just accelerates into this hole and almost leaves Peachy and Roberts grasping at thin air, and they stick the arm out. Here we go, Matty.
He copped the daily double, a couple of high shots. Ramian showing his strength. 5 out, the former Cronulla Shark. Levi through Pearce. Saifini trying to make up for his error. Running with plenty of purpose, but stopped 5 out again. Levi sends it the same way for Pearce to go flat. Fitzgibbon almost pulls through the tackle. It holds and denies Newcastle again. Glasby also high contact from Peachy. This time play is allowed to continue and Peachy picks up the loose ball.
Yeah, like another look at that. It looked high, didn't it, from Peachy, but it was great intent, great energy, getting off his line into the face of Glasby and turns over there. This is the replay. Oh yeah, certainly high. Certainly high there. They missed that one, the officials.
Not a lot in it.
No, slips up.
Anything, but it was still, I suppose, technically high contact. But plenty of fans will be happy to see that one let continue. Fotuaika. Tireless to start this game. Now Rain picks up Whitbread as Ryan James has that knee iced. We get further reports as the game goes on. Roberts kicks and chases. Ponga times his jump perfectly. And his easy prey on landing for Kelly and Roberts, the kicker. This is Kenny Down to play it. Pinned in their own 20. Can Edric Lee get them out of trouble?
They need a spark here, the Newcastle Knights. We see Herman Esse come on the field.
Good run.
Very good run.
Just the one game so far for Herman Esse in round 2. 30 minutes off the bench. Here's Watson. Numbers if they can promote the ball. Barnett does so for Ramian. One-on-one with Roberts. He gets away and releases Sean Kenny-Dow, but it's forward. The flick offload was forward, so Kalen Ponga's chase is in vain. He hasn't heard the whistle. We're back to near halfway, please.
There's a right call, right in line with it here. Only fractionally forward, but it was certainly forward. I don't know why he flicked it. He had time to get 2 hands back on the ball. When we see the replay, Jesse Ramian, just brute strength, gets on the outside there of Roberts. Oh, does he have time to get it back into 2 hands? Maybe not. Nonetheless, fractionally forward there, I thought, Hodge.
Yeah, it was the right play. I think sometimes you don't really need to get your 2 hands on it after you see him palm off there. But what an incredible play to see here. The captain, Ryan James, heavily iced, so he won't be back this afternoon. Huge loss for the Gold Coast Titans.
You can see Andy Raymond up and about to get the good oil straight from the mouth of Ryan James. Structural or purely a contact injury. And we certainly hope it's the latter. And Sammy, the try scorer, or one of the try scorers for Gold Coast so far. Jai Arrow takes a good tackle around the legs. It was Levi. Ish Taylor called back on the inside, and there are metres to be had for Whitbread.
Yeah, they're really working over the Knights' middle here.
Taylor, a change of angle from Copley. He takes a good tackle. Ponga, but mainly Levi again. Rain. Whitbread, another carry inside Newcastle's 10. After a 20-0 lead here, the Titans. Mike Lennis points to the left on the final play, and Rain goes that way. Here's Roberts. Plenty of room in front of him, and he forces a goal line dropout. Kenny Dow swatting it dead in goal.
Yeah, well, it's a smart play from Roberts because Kalen Ponga has to hold on the short side. And as most fullbacks do these days, put themselves in the defensive line, which means any ball that dribbles in behind them, it's hard to turn and chase. And he got the weight right there, Roberts. Kenny Dow getting rid of the ball, but they're building pressure beautifully. 14-0 already, the Titans. And the Knights now having to withstand another set of 6.
Let's just sum up this first half. Neither team completing above 80% in any game this season, but so far, the Titans at 87%, Newcastle 57%. There's the problem, as the return from the Titans is impressive. Arrow backing up the good work of Max King from the dropout. Taylor to King again. He's from Newcastle territory, and Maitland Pickers Jr. Taylor called by Gordon up the middle. They are asking questions of this Newcastle defence. Perfectly positioned to pounce again, the Titans. King, another carry. He stopped 4 metres out. Final play for the home team. Again, the kick from Roberts is good, and again, the result is a goal line dropout.
They are executing with precision, the Titans, at the moment. They've come here with a clear plan, and there's no doubt with this Newcastle side. Their strength is Clemmer, Gavitt, Glasby. They're big men through the middle. They are punching through. They are moving to an edge, changing angles, coming back through their centre third, and then loading up on those short sides when Ponga's in the defensive line. It's been brilliant from Taylor and Roberts to start this first half.
And the pressure builds on the visitors.
Watching Ash Taylor here set himself up on the right-hand side of the field for the Gold Coast Titans. Don't be surprised if he puts a little kick in behind here for Dale Copley. Edric Lee's got a bad habit of coming all the way in off his wing, so just look out for that.
King cops the tackle from Pearce, but there's a penalty to Gold Coast.
He's 10.
Now keep going here. 14-0's plenty. Let's attack. That's got to be the mindset of the Titans.
With me, mate. Mitch.
You're right, Hodjo. If I'm the Gold Coast, I'd be laying that left-hand side of the field, coming back at the vulnerabilities of Heimel, Hunt and Edric Lee together. They've had their challenges. Although Manly exposed Kenny Dowell a couple of times last week with the long ball over the top. Opportunities on both edges for the Titans. Here we go.
King playing it for Rain. Through Roberts. This is Whitbread. Back at the angle. Very busy since sent on by Garth Brennan. Roberts other side of the field now for Taylor, who has to reach for the ball with his boot. Copley picks up the scraps, spins out of 2 tackles, goes again, and only now succumbs. They do well to keep possession, and now they get a fresh set. A hand on the ball. The ruck infringements from Newcastle mounting.
You know it's your lucky day when you stick your foot out on a loose ball and it dribbles straight into the arms of your winger, Matty. Everything going right here for the Gold Coast.
Luck's a fortune as Stockwell, the late call-up after that last-minute injury for Proctor. Stockwell playing his first NRL of the season. A metre out. Rain. Here's Whitbread. Hunting his first NRL try. Instead, he hears the whistle, and again. So there'll be a warning here.
Mitch, there's a clear tactic since we've come down here. That
There's no tactic. No one said a word about it. He's got his nose through. What's he meant to do?
Mitch,
I'm let him off.
I'm explaining to you, mate. This is a warning for your team.
He's
There's a tactic change to stop the flow of the game.
No tactic, mate.
Clean
He's
it up.
handled that really well, the referee.
Chris Sutton, Phil Henderson, the men in charge. There's Chris, the referee. Phil Henderson assisting, and they'll extend the lead by 2 here.
That's what needed to happen on Friday in the Bulldogs South Sydney game. It was allowed to go for too long, but as you mentioned, Chris Sutton getting right on top of things here. He's in a conversation now with David Clemmer. Frustration starting to build.
Is this an interesting decision? They're ahead by 14, this to go 16, so it's not beyond 2 or 3 converted tries, for example. Surely the Knights are under the pump, repeated goal line dropouts forced on them, and they elect to take the 2, Michael. Yes or no?
Yeah, I just think it reflects the start of the year for the Titans in the sense that, yes, they put on 30 points last week against Penrith, but the win is vitally important. So any points on offer in this first half they are taking. I would have liked to have seen them take the tap, but I also don't mind seeing the Gold Coast Titans being conservative for a change.
Well, Coach Justin Hodges beside me was gesturing tap and go.
Oh, that's just the old instinct kicking in there. But like you said, Matty Russell, they had 2 or 3 back-to-back sets, but whenever you can get the opportunity to put on points just to make the other side look up, see the scoreboards ticking over, puts a whole lot of pressure on them.
Boys, an update on Ryan James. We had pictures of him earlier. Ice on his knee, back on the bench. Now, a weird one. I've spoken to a couple of the Gold Coast Titans ancillary staff, medical staff. Scattered opinion. Is it a contact? Is it an ACL? I will quote Anthony LaFranchi, who's down there on the headsets talking to Garth Brennan. Andy, we're not sure. Opinions are scattered. Please don't write him off for the season just yet.
Is that Dr. Anthony LaFranchi, Andy?
Correct.
Well, to me, there wasn't much contact. So, in my mind, hopefully it's not, but it sounds like an ACL.
Well, the news all of a sudden not so positive after initial reports and reasonably confident reports it was contacts. Now a little bit of second guessing going on.
What else is not so positive? I know it's a warm day here on the Gold Coast, but to have our sideline reporter in Speedos is concerning. Andy Raymond.
You're lucky you haven't got the oil out as well, Mick.
Only a matter of time. There were showers earlier, but the sun is winning the battle, and isn't Andy happy about that sideline? Good crowd enjoying their home team in control to the tune of 16-0. Ponga onto the kick, and he says, Sean, you have a run. Kenny Dow. So the penalty in favour of Newcastle, who need to land a blow before half-time. 4.5 left.
We're exactly what Newcastle Knights need here. Now they need to roll their sleeves up, get down the field, try and put some points on before half-time.
Stray arm there from Tyrone Roberts, just creeping high up on Sean Kenny Dow. You're right, Hodjo, vital period here. 4 minutes for Newcastle Knights.
It's too late to have a fantasy and NRL fan.com. And in jumper 19. Ponga look found him. 20. Bureck into the defence. Roberts is there. But Mitch Barnett and the 7 touch. Already with 1 try. He sights on a second. Tackled eventually by Ponga, pushing him off.
What an injection Philip Sammy's been.
Roberts, and now Stockwell. Some tired Knights out there trying to hold Gold Coast at bay as Arrow takes some stopping. It's Barnett around the boots. Roberts finds Taylor. He dummies, now pulls the trigger. It's Tyrone Peachey. Copley can't get away. Peachey a handful for anyone lacking their breath at Newcastle. Now it's Stockwell, felled by Barnett's final play. Can the Knights hold on? Roberts goes long. Brian Kelly back at an angle straight through. Kelly will give the Gold Coast Titans plenty of fist pumps on his way to 20 points.
Well, they're absolutely out on their feet here, the Newcastle Knights, on the back of a poor kick from Mitchell Pearce. A 7-tackle set, Philip Sammy just strolled through them off the 20-metre restart, racing 80 metres. Watch the width here off the pass from Rain. Gets them straight onto the right edge of the Knights, and the footwork and strength from Brian Kelly, superb. The effort from Watson was underwhelming, and it is all the Gold Coast Titans. Lovely play. Look at that. Slices straight through them. Watson hangs an arm out. And all of a sudden, 20 points to 0 in the opening 40 minutes. And on the stroke of half-time with a kick to come, could be 22-0. What an exclamation mark.
What a player this guy here is, as we saw. The wonderful play there by Tyrone Roberts that starts it. He could have easily played at the ball, knocked it dead, given Newcastle Knights another set of 6, but just has the smarts and the patience to let it go dead, as we just seen there. Brian Kelly just sums up the situation nicely. Jesse Raymond probably over-committing to the outside.
Yep.
Allows Brian Kelly to come back lovely off his left feet.
he's been important, hasn't he, Mitch Rain? When they lost Nathan Peets, he's done a tremendous job. Adds a real spark out of dummy half, but that pass there beat 4 defenders and gave them the opportunity to attack. A lovely piece of play from the number 9.
Fantastic backup option behind Peets. He played every game last season, Mitch Rain. It started the year in the second tier as Gordon steers 2 more through, 22-0 with only seconds left in the first half. As a result, they'll run towards the rooms.
Well, if they're under pressure coming here today, you can only imagine what it's going to be like down in the burrows of Seabus Super Stadium with the Newcastle Knights dressing room.
So Hendo, at the moment they haven't got
This is alarming. This is really alarming. What's happened in the last fortnight to the Newcastle Knights? There's some real concern with the style of football and the way they're going about their football at the moment.
Well, they were on a 4-game skid. Those 4 losses all by single figures, but this is alarming. 22-0 down. A team that many had in their top 8, some had in the top 4.
Are we in position?
Matty, they trailed 26-12 last week as well.
A shortish kick-off. It's picked up by the try scorer, Kelly. And that will be the end of 40 minutes. A fantastic 40 for the Titans. 3 tries to 0. And they lead it 22 blocks. The second half underway. A huge comeback required from the Knights as the kickoff goes high, where it's taken by Connor Watson. And he goes back into Tyrone Peachey as the Knights work it away. Bear in mind, they come into this game on the back of 4 straight defeats, now confront a 22-0 halftime deficit. Justin Hodges, how big is this 40 minutes for Nathan Brown and the Knights?
Yeah, look, it's a big margin to pull back, but they're just going to get back to basics. Going to get back to ball control, running hard. You see a half little break here by Watson, but that's what they're going to get back to. The forwards really need to start laying a platform. Let guys like Mitchell Pearce, Kalen Ponga start creating opportunities to score some points.
Pearce kicks across the field out towards Anthony Don. Looking into that sun and catching safely. The pressure gauge was already peaking for the Knights, wasn't it, Mick? What's it going to do if they can't claw their way back into this?
Oh, they're in a tough spot, aren't they? I mean, Nathan Brown, he's been building a roster for a number of years now, and this one is worthy of far greater than what these players have produced in the opening 40 minutes. And no doubt, as I said, in the first half, he came into this game under pressure. He knows that, Nathan. His side's under pressure, and they haven't delivered in the opening 40 minutes. They were lethargic from the get-go, and the Titans have punished them.
The run from Whitbread, backed up here by Arrow. 10 metres into Newcastle territory. Rain for Roberts to kick across the ground. Ponga is there. He has it safely. He gets away from Kelly, beats one, but not Rain, as we find Andy sideline.
From the dressing rooms at halftime, Garth Brennan spoke about concentration and professionalism. All focus tomorrow will be on Ryan James and the scans on that right knee. There is a huge question mark over his short-term and, in fact, long-term playing future. For Nathan Brown, spoke about early set in particular. Runs straight, not sideways, and dropping heads. It's cost us.
Ponga away for Connor Watson. Andy, sorry to chop you off, and again an error cripples them.
Yeah, certain 4-pointer gone begging there. Lovely play from Mitchell Pearce back inside to Kalen Ponga. Really starting to test the middle third of the Titans already in the opening stages, and Watson, he just had to hang on to that. That was a dead set 4-pointer blown from the Knights, and a huge opportunity gone begging.
What a confidence boost that would have been. A try early in the second half, most likely under the crossbar. A guaranteed 6 points had Connor Watson held on, which the Titans can't do either. And a couple of errors early in this second half.
Well, this was the play, nice and direct, back inside there. Watson started, found Pearce back inside to Ponga, who somehow broke free. And there's Connor Watson pushing through the middle, comes up with the error. And now we see the Titans through a Mitch Rain offload there, can't hang on to it. 19 from 21 sets they got through in a near perfect first half, and already in the opening minutes of this second half, the Titans just relieving the pressure off the Newcastle Knights. A great opportunity here for the Knights.
Ball in, Mitch. Out.
The experience needs to stand up here as Heimel Hunt carries the ball.
They start to set it halfway. Bura keeps it going the same way. Lachlan Fitzgibbon on a whole lot of metres for him. Clemmer winds up, middle of the ground. Pearce. This is Watson, this time holding the pass, diving to ground, up and going again. He'll be sent backwards.
Back here, boys. Back here. 4. Here. Right, play it.
So they're inside the 10. Here's the kick from Bura, knocked up and backwards for Philip Sammy to clean up. He's pushed in goal, and that's the second best outcome for Newcastle.
What about the strength of Jesse Ramey in here? Just gives him the coat hook. Just drags him straight back into the in goal. Interesting play. Bura out of dummy half it was that got the kick. It was a nice one. The bounce awful there for Rain. Watch this from Ramey. Just gives him the big umbrella hook, just holds on to him and just wrestles him back into the in goal. It's been a good start to the second half for the Knights, but they need to capitalise. They need to get on the board here. They need points desperately.
Onside.
Roberts sends the goal line dropout, 53 on the fly. Then Clemmer back at them. He's greeted by Arrow in conjunction with Cartwright and Stockwell. Good run here, SA. Heavy contact. He tried to get a quick play of the ball and gets a penalty as a result. Fantastic from Herman. His side on the front foot in this set at least. Bura inside the 10. Pearce dummies, twist. Mitchell Pearce loses the ball with the in goal calling his name.
Okay, time off.
I've got no try there, Papa.
Yeah, so do I.
It'll be
Okay, Henry.
sent upstairs as no try.
We're coming up to tackle 2. I've got no try. Confirm that the ball's lost and not kicked out by Bryce Cartwright.
Well, Pearce, he uttered the words, "I've dropped it." You know, that's been dropped by Pearce, unfortunately. Lovely play. I love when Mitchell takes on the line.
Yes,
it's his
Mitchell
greatest
Pearce has
strength.
lost the ball over the line. We have a decision.
Come off his right foot, then off his left foot. Looked to have sliced through, but some desperation there from the Titans. And as he reached out, he dropped the ball. This will be a 20-metre 7-tackle restart. You can see there in the
Okay, it's a knock on
replay
in the in
box,
goal.
the
Going to 20.
disappointed
And
Mitchell
they're gonna
Pearce
control, mate.
and the error.
So we're on your whistle.
Couple of chances gone begging now, Hodjo.
Yeah, well, they look good, the Newcastle Knights. You see now, just that bomb try really deflates them. It's something they wanted to try and build towards the second half, is to try and put a 4-pointer on the board. Mitchell Pearce, what a play though.
They need a whole lot more of that, the Knights, against this Gold Coast team that was kept scoreless in their first home game, but returned to beat Penrith. Now they're hunting back-to-back home victories in front of a solid Sunday crowd, Easter Sunday crowd here on the Gold Coast. Whitbread with SA racing up from his blind side to put on a shot. Roberts, a cutout ball, well taken by Cartwright for Gordon. They almost create the extra man. Rain back the other way. Arrow put on his back, final play here. As Rain sends it towards Roberts. His kick, floating down for Sean Kenny-Dow. No troubles for Sean.
He's been a good injection of energy today, hasn't he, Herman SA for the Knights? Big, powerful carries, finding his front. Some nice kick pressure there. Tyrone Roberts. Oh, Kenny-Dow reels that in one hand. I get nervous every time he catches the ball, Kenny-Dow.
You sense the opposition feel they're a chance every time as Heimel Hunt plays the ball now. Watson shoots out of dummy half. Rounded up by Peachy. Here's Pearce trying to get a torpedo punt away. It wobbles downfield, splits the men at the back, but bounces favourably towards Anthony Don. Don beats one and is tackled from behind. SA busy out there again. Now Philip Sammy.
Up together. Connor now. Jesse, nice and straight. Straight. It's good.
Whitbread.
Now, Connor, Dave. Jamie.
Ash Taylor quickly through Cartwright. It opened up momentarily for Dale Copley, who had to be jumped on from behind by Hymel Hunt. Roberts, Peachy, on they come. Brian Kelly skipping to the outside of Ramian, who makes a good diving tackle. Looking confident with ball in hand, the Titans. Now Roberts keeps his kick towards that northwestern corner. Ponga down with the ball. And he's set on straight away to be trapped in his own 20.
That's what's been really pleasing about the Titans' attack this afternoon. They've been confident enough as we see Kenny Dow.
Put down by Edric Lee. Picked up by Copley. Copley goes on for Anthony Don, who strolls over. Try 71 as a Titan. And this lead balloons some more. Soon to be 28-0. The mistakes by Newcastle are almost unbelievable.
Well, that's what's been good about the Titans' attack this afternoon. They've capitalised and punished on the Newcastle errors for the third time with a 4-pointer. And it's that man, oh no, rocks and diamonds, Kenny Dow. You've just got to get forward. When your side's in trouble coming out of your end, you've got to start your sets by carrying with intent. And he's tried to shift the ball, put Edric Lee under enormous pressure. And as he spilt the ball, Dale Copley right on point, inside to Anthony Don. And the Titans capitalise again on another error from the Newcastle Knights. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Sean Kenny Dow.
Well, it's just hard to watch at the moment. Newcastle Knights are just shooting themselves in the foot every time they try and come out of their own end. They throw a ball on the ground. Gold Coast Titans pick it up and put 6 points there on the board. I know Sean Kenny Dow probably shouldn't have threw the pass, but Edric Lee
should have caught it too.
Just down attention to detail, knowing the ball's coming your way. But it sums up their afternoon, hasn't it?
As we see Michael Gordon now the opportunity to turn this into a 28-0 lead. And he does just that. I can understand what Sean Kenny Dow's trying to do. I can understand he's trying to move and pull apart that compressed defensive line of the Titans, but it wasn't on Hodge.
No, look, it wasn't. It's probably the wrong time. I think there was times there when I was actually watching the first half, there's times there where they should have shifted the ball, but it's just your timing and knowing when to throw that ball and knowing the time and place in the game. It's just probably not on there for SKD.
Boys, Nathan Brown doesn't understand why it happened. His words from half-time was simply, early in the set, run straight. Do not run across field and do not play the risk game. And that's exactly what Sean Kenny Dow has just done. Everything that Nathan said not to.
The Titans have run in 4 tries, 3 of them directly from Newcastle drop balls. And not a few sets later, picking up the drop ball and racing away.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? I haven't seen an afternoon of football like that. Matt, I just haven't seen so many errors punished so severely with 4-pointers. But they've earned it. You create your own luck, and the energy and the effort from the Gold Coast has been first class in the opening 50 minutes of this game, and they've been rewarded 28 points to 0.
That's without Proctor. Ryan James goes off injured.
Tyrone Roberts completes the set. A kick low along the ground, straight through the legs of Ponga. And the chase is up to the challenge as well. Trapping him about 10 metres out. And they concede the penalty.
Yeah, mate.
Rigorous in the tackle. A little too so from Brian Kelly and Tyrone Peachy, the 2 centres. Manhandling that man, Kalen Ponga. There's a huge difference in this game in terms of run metres, Michael, and that comes back to intent.
Enormous, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head, intent. 1,177 metres from the Gold Coast Titans and only 720 from the Newcastle Knights. They've been blown off the park with energy and intent this afternoon.
And listening to Garth Brennan speak with the studio team pre-game, he said, I don't want the players to worry about whether we're ahead or behind, whether we're going to win or lose, just concentrate on the process. It might sound a little cliched to some, but the result is here for all to see as they lead 28-0.
When you get your own game right and you provide that attention to detail, boy, oh boy. The service
picked up
from Danny Levi there, ordinary. Here goes Ramian.
under the swat of Peachy. Ramian releases for Pearce to go on to SA. Long now for Edric Lee. Can they come up with their first points of the game? They run inside Gold Coast's 10. Last play, though. Back for Ponga. He goes long to Pearce. Pearce across the ground to Watson. Now Ramian, who runs it off the foot into the in-goal. Sammy elects to play at it. And they force a goal line dropout.
Nice touch there. Some ad-lib football. Enterprising football from the Newcastle Knights, moving the ball from edge to edge. And it's this time Ramian that comes up with a nice little short kick, building pressure. Gets his side, a repeat set of 6 on the far side of the field. Dale Copley is with the Gold Coast trainer. He's in some real concern, grabbing at his face or at the top of his head. He come reeling out of the tackle from Edric Lee on the far side of the field.
Mate, are you doing?
Is it a bit of friendly fire?
Oh, maybe a poke in the eye.
Sorry, mate.
Is Don not so good? Just there.
Well, Matty Russell, to answer your question about the process, I think that's where the Gold Coast Titans are at. They just needed to build into their season. They had a win last week and just keep things simple in terms of just worry about your own game. Don't try and overcomplicate things. You know, if you're a front row, just hit the ball up. If you're an outside back, come in, do your scooch, do your tackle, make your one-on-one.
When you're ready, Tyrone.
And just let their brilliant halves take that game management into control.
Straight after this one, off to the nation's capital. As the goal line dropout goes down for Connor Watson. And here's Josh King onto the ground for Nathan Brown. Yeah, Canberra 4-1 against the under siege Brisbane Broncos. Saifiti. Pearce out the back finds Ponga. Ramian tries to get away from Kelly and does.
What a matchup. Ramian and Kelly, two of our young stars.
Great to watch, aren't they? As Watson is rounded up inside the 10. Levi, Ponga, his pass thrown into Tyrone Roberts. So the knock-on against Gold Coast and Newcastle can reload.
Good over there,
Like to
Liam.
see Danny Levi just change up his game a little bit. Too often he's getting out of dummy half in key positions and holding onto the ball for too long. Kalen Ponga needs the ball off the ground there. It's got to go straight in his hand. He had a 3-on-2 outside him, an overlap defensively, and he was looking to strike, and he's got the class to do that. We all know these capabilities in his pass selection. And Levi just gets up holding the ball, and it allows the defence to get off the line and shut the play down. An area of his game that needs to improve.
Wait, mate, wait.
Levi onto Pearce. Ponga wrapped up 1-on-1. He was a sitting duck from Ash Taylor.
Wait now.
Now Pearce. Change of angle from Fitzgibbon, but still there's no way through. And they get a penalty.
Inside 10.
It's too structured.
Pressure on the neck.
They've got some brilliant
Pressure on the neck.
players, the Newcastle Knights, that have got great instinct. None better than Pearce and Ponga. At the moment, the block plays, the Titans are all over it.
He's King, put on his back. 44 games into his NRL career, no tries yet. Levi out the back. Connor Watson gets through, throws the ball, and finally they have a try through Heimel Hunt.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay. H. And up to you on tackle 2. We've got a try. Just need to confirm that the ball is caught by Connor Watson and there's no obstruction by Lachlan Fitzgibbon in the lead-up.
Caught by Connor Watson. He certainly catches the ball.
He certainly doesn't lose it into an opposition player, which would be the only concern. Just keep an eye on Lachlan Fitzgibbon, the lead runner there. He brushes past Ash Taylor, doesn't seem to deny Taylor a defensive shot at Watson, so
He tries to get through the line. He tries to spin his way out. It recognises
There's no
he's on the
obstruction at
outside
the shows,
shoulder.
and Connor Watson takes the ball cleanly.
Yeah, it's a try. Absolutely.
And Heimel Hunt grounds the ball. We have a decision.
Hunt gets his second try of the year.
And it's a timely one. 28-0 down. And it's taken 55 minutes to get there, but it was a nice short side raid to their left-hand side of the field, the Knights. And Connor Watson, he's been dangerous in the second half. Times he's got into dummy half and got out of there asking questions. Levi this time off the ground, straight to Watson. Poor read from Dale Copley. Don had to follow him in, as all good wingers should. Both of them caught in no man's land. Heimel Hunt, he gets them on the board for the first time this afternoon. And could that be the spark that reignites the Newcastle Knights?
Well, you just touched on it about a couple of minutes ago about Danny Levi just coming off the ground, stand and deliver the pass we saw there. It allows Connor Watson just to get on the outside. If he stands up there and holds that ball up too long, it allows the outside men to get up and pick a man. So well done.
Ponga with a conversion attempt. He was perfect last week against Manly and starts with a miss. They need every single bit of luck to go their way. 28-4 in favour of Gold Coast. So 4 converted tries, the difference.
Well, they're big men now. Safidi, SA, King and the likes. Glasby's back onto the field. Ramian can get involved, just charge through this ruck. Andy Raymond touched on it, what Nathan Brown expects of his side. Get the ball, run direct, run hard, get us some momentum, and kick into that corner where the sun is, like the Titans did in the opening 40 minutes. But it starts with your attitude, it starts with intent. Here we go.
Let's see what this set is like after their first points of the game. Saifidi will get it going, angling his run towards Kelly. Now Sean Kenny-Dowell calls for the ball. Up to meet him at Stockwell. And Max King. Here's Josh King. Crossing the 30-metre line. And taking the third tackle. Behind Glasby. Pearce goes on for Fitzgibbon. The same way again. A short side play from Pearce for Hunt. Hunt gets through, finds Levi and his pass. It's play on, knocked down by Gold Coast, and Ponga will play it on tackle 0. Now it's Watson, Pearce, numbers here. Barnett goes long for Sean Kenny-Dowell, and they lose the advantage. Kenny-Dowell keeps it alive for Ramian.
Had to go through the hands. Had to.
Pearce. Ponga. Long for Hunt again. And he's wrapped up. It was Copley. First man there to shut him down. Ponga catch and pass for Glasby. Flat King is hit well by Tyrone Peachy. Pearce 5 out. Barnett can't position Watson, but Ramian runs onto the loose ball. Pearce dives over, but the whistle has sounded.
I called last tackle. We play the ball there.
So the tackle was called before the offload came.
Might have called that a little bit too early then. I think he was still...
Yeah, I'd like another look at that. Pearce went over untouched.
He was still moving, wasn't he?
Go.
Levi to Pearce, and again they play with some width as Ponga kicks, looking for Edric Lee, but he lands beyond the advertising hoarding. Yeah, I thought that the whistle had sounded for an error, not that he'd called tackle. Here it is in slow motion.
See,
that's play on.
That's play on. He's still moving.
That's a bad call. The Knights with all the momentum. Now Ponga's kicked it out.
Well, that's what I thought when I first seen it.
That's a bad call, isn't it? Got his arm free, Barnett.
Oh,
it's an error.
The favour return. Fodawaker leaves it behind. And Lachlan Fitzgibbon revving up the Newcastle troops. They still believe.
They're all in.
Best part of 22 minutes left.
Everyone is up.
Well, if I'm Newcastle here, Hodjo, again, I'm loading up towards Copley and Ash Taylor, given what we saw when Connor Watson and Heimel Hunt split them only moments before.
Work in, need 6.
This was the error there from Fodawaker. He's been superb this afternoon, coming into the starting side. Ran for 102 metres in the first half, but possession starting to swing. The last 10 minutes all with the Knights.
Ponga tries to get those dancing feet going. The Gold Coast grab hold of his jumper and hang on for dear life. Pearce for Glasby. He settles, walking his way inside the 10. Then pushed backwards. Numbers to the right for Newcastle, and that's the way they come. Josh King. Pearce goes flat. Barnett finds Watson with the inside ball. Connor Watson bounces over. Hint of double movement, which they might check, but Connor Watson comes up confident.
There's a bit to check here.
Yeah, I believe it's not. Okay, hang on, mate. Hang on. Okay, Henry. We're coming up to tackle 4. I've got no try on the basis of a double movement. Can you confirm in the lead-up that the pass back inside is not knocked on by the Newcastle player also?
Yeah, it certainly comes off Tyrone Roberts there, doesn't it? Pass back inside. You'll see it hit his chest. Yep.
So that's legal. Knock on there by Gold Coast,
It's
allowing Connor Watson to continue. He gathers cleanly.
Because they can't rule on a forward pass. So it comes off the chest there, into Watson, play on. Yep, he's still got
Looking to
control
see
of
if
the
Connor
ball.
Watson cleanly takes possession.
Are you confident that's
Yeah,
clean,
I'm
gentlemen?
fine with that.
Yep,
I'm fine. His hand never
Connor
comes
Watson
away
cleanly
from the ball.
takes possession, so we're playing onto the stage.
And the power of the little man, the desperation. Oh, can we see that in full speed? We're going to need to see that in full speed if we're going to determine.
He can
whether that's
bounce over. He can't promote the football to find the in goal. Does that reach promote?
Absolutely it does, yeah. He certainly lifts the arm.
I've got to admit,
We're now
when we
looking to
called it
determine
live, it
whether
looked
Connor Watson
double movement.
has promoted the ball.
I don't know if he needed to. I think he probably would have still rolled forward and ended up there. He definitely lifts his arm on the slow
Connor
motion
Watson has
replay.
promoted the ball over the line. We have a decision.
Yeah, that's the right call.
He had a fair anchor with Malaki Fodawaker hanging onto his legs.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? They're looking good, the Newcastle Knights. Barnett, creative on the right edge. Watson really injecting himself, particularly his running game and his strength.
Time's still off.
What that long adjudication does is take some of the steam out of the momentum that Newcastle was finally able to build.
The first knock on off him.
So we made the ruling that the ball's been taken cleanly by Connor.
If there was a knock on off him.
That's not the ruling, mate. The ruling is that Connor's taken the ball cleanly. There is no knock on in the lead up, and then there's a double
knock on if it
movement.
touches his body.
That's the explanation, mate. We've got a penalty up here.
How do you explain that?
Just be careful, mate.
It's a knock on.
That's ridiculous. It clearly came off. It clearly came off Tyrone Roberts. And Mitchell Pearce got every right to
Not a
argue
knock on,
that.
mate. That's where it stops now. We've dealt with it. Come on.
Oh, that's a tough one for the Newcastle Knights. You see there, Mitchell Pearce.
Two ordinary
right here,
calls,
Jesse.
Hodjo.
Oh,
The
mate.
first one when Barnett was doomed to have been tackled 2 sets prior when Pearce went over untouched. And that one there was a clear knock-on from Tyrone Roberts. Mitchell Pearce has got every right to be filthy.
Well, the only explanation for it, the referees, is that they've ruled that we've played an advantage there. You've had your advantage. You've had your chance to score a try and blown it.
Boys, the ruling is that it didn't touch Tyrone Roberts' hands. It touched his chest. Therefore, if it doesn't touch the hands, it's not a knock-on.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Sideline. Now Fodawaker.
Yeah, mate. It's four.
The Titans just looking to settle a little as we enter the final quarter of this one. They were 28-0 leaders. And now Roberts grubbers, chases hard. They look to pin Ponga down in his corner, which they do. Sean Kenny Dow no latitude whatsoever.
They've been really disciplined with that this afternoon, and hence the reason the score is lovely kick again down this left-hand channel. They can press their defensive line up, and they get stuck into the Newcastle Knights. They've been relentless with it, and they've done a terrific job.
It looked for a moment as if Gold Coast might have just turned temporarily to next week's game against West Tigers in Tamworth, but the defence in this set back to how it was earlier in the game. They concede on the final play.
It's not that good there by Ponga, the man who gives away the penalty, gives Newcastle Knights another set of 6. Still a lot of time left in this game.
Hunt skips his way inside Gold Coast 20. Watson runs himself and is rounded up by Jai Arrow, along with Fotuaika. Pearce on for Josh King.
Could have come left.
Instead, it's Levi out of acting half. He stopped short again. 2 plays left, Saifidi, the dummy half for Pearce, who grubbers into the in-goal, perfectly weighted. It's played at, it had to be by Tyrone Roberts.
I think
and Glasby says, I've scored a try, Tyrone.
It's Barnett.
You've taken too long.
So do I. Yep. Sharpie, he's onside. Yep. Okay, H coming up the last tackle. I got a try. Just confirm that he grounds the ball in the in-goal, Mitchell Barnett.
Right at the last minute,
Right side kick chase is onside.
as Roberts tries to shield him off the ball, I'm sure he gets a hand to it.
Good speed by the big man.
Tyrone was willing it to go over the dead ball line as Mitch Barnett reaches out and gets there first.
Nick Innes.
The boot stays in the field of play. The elbow stays in the field of
Mitch
play.
Barnett stays in the field of play and grounds the ball. We have a decision.
And Barnett gives Newcastle their second try.
Well, in the first half, Tyrone Roberts did a tremendous job shielding the ball, and they end up going down the other end on a 7-tackle set and scoring. This time he got a little too cute with that, and the desperation of Barnett did a wonderful job. Gets the Knights their second try. They're coming for them, aren't they? Mitchell Pearce sums it up beautifully, recognises Gordon's caught in the defensive line, and that's hunger, it's desperation from Barnett, charging through. And Roberts, he just had to get rid of that one. He just had to get it out of there.
Well, it's great vision there by Mitchell Pearce, knowing that the Gold Coast Titans all afternoon have been rushing up hard on him. He just has a sense to play, just stand and deliver. A lovely little kick there.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Has it been his afternoon?
Ponga fluffs his line over the kickings tee. And tomorrow night, what an occasion, Easter Monday. Bank West Stadium, Parramatta against West Tigers. The grand opening in front of a sold-out crowd from Cumberland Oval to Parramatta Stadium and now Bank West Stadium. Excitement across the rugby league landscape. You'll see it on Fox League, a big day, followed by post-game wrap, NRL 360 and big league wrap. Watson takes the kick off and goes to Saifidi.
17 minutes remaining here. Friday night, the Melbourne Storm came back from 20 points down against the Sydney Roosters to take that to Golden Point. And the Newcastle Knights swinging momentum here. And if there's a side that can pile on points quick, it's the Newcastle Knights with the strike that they've got. They need Pearce and Ponga and Ramian and Watson to inject themselves.
They scored the last 8 points as Pearce looks inside where Josh King is waiting for the ball. Possession in their favour in the second half as Pearce goes long. Hymel Hunt has been a danger in this second half on that left-hand edge for the Knights. Final play, and it's Pearce putting it high. Michael Gordon running into position along with Sammy. They collide, but the collection is good. Collision may be the wrong word. They just grabbed bumper bars.
they're very lucky there to come away with that, Phil Sammy.
That would have been interesting, wouldn't it, if we saw an error there. Philip Sammy.
Shannon Boyd back into the action. Gold Coast keen to have a good set here as the kick from Taylor goes straight into the back of Josh King. And now Gordon. Tackle count remains, so this is the final play here. It's tackle 5. And again, Roberts finds himself under pressure, but he finds the sideline 30 out.
He did well, didn't he, Tyrone Roberts? There's no room for error there as the Knights defenders came out to put pressure on him, and he somehow squeezes it through a narrow gap and finds touch. And the big men of the Titans breathe a sigh of relief. The momentum, the sting just taken out of the game for a minute. Still, a scrum on the 30-metre line will turn into an attacking set for the Newcastle Knights. Kalen Ponga there in the middle of your screen. He's broken into a stretch. He's got through plenty of work again this afternoon. But it's going to take some individual brilliance if they're to get back in this game. Still 20 points down. Here's Kenny Dow.
He takes the tackle 14 shy of halfway. Levi through Pearce. It's picked up on the gallop here by Hunt.
Gavay and Clemmer coming on for Nathan Brown. This truly is the last roll of the dice for Newcastle. Some fresh legs and big frames midfield.
And Glasby enters Gold Coast territory. Still time for the Knights. Pearce to Ponga. Here's a hole. Kalen skips through and skips away. Brilliant, brilliant from Kalen. His first 4-pointer of 2019. And now he cramps.
Well, we mentioned some individual brilliance that was going to take for the Newcastle Knights to get back in this game, and right on cue, who else but Kalen Ponga? He sliced them in the first half with the same play. Tyrone Peachy gets caught up on the David Clemmer lead, and he just blows straight through that gap and accelerates and then breaks into cramp. What a player, Kalen. He just makes it look so easy. Roberts clutching at thin air, Gordon clutching at thin air as he just does it with ease. His balance and acceleration and his speed never deviates. And under the post goes Kalen Ponga, and all of a sudden now the Newcastle Knights, they are finding some rhythm.
What a player. Kalen Ponga, he doesn't need much to set a stadium alight. We saw there, you saw the presence of David Clemmer just holding up there on Tyrone Peachy and allowing this man just a little bit of space, and that's all he needs. Kalen Ponga, absolute superstar of our game.
And because of that cramp, it's Mitch Barnett, the try scorer this afternoon, lining up for some more points from right in front. This to get it back to 14.
Imagine if you got the last kick, would have been 12.
Costly.
Well, Jim Laffey was nearly punished for it last night down at Wynn Stadium, where a number of opportunities went astray for the Dragons, but they dodged a bullet there. And you're right, Hodjo. A couple of extra conversions here from that man, Kalen Ponga, and they'd be within real striking distance.
12 or 10.
If you had calves like that, you might have cramped up at times as well.
Something I never got is cramps in the calves.
I didn't have any to get cramps in.
Kalen's still trying to free them up as he waits. So it's back to 14 with 13 and a half to play. Edric Lee. We know they have the strike, especially with Ponga in the back line. But do they have the time? Jai Arrow on David Clemmer. Great shot.
You do not see David Clemmer get buckled off it. What a shot. What a response from Jai Arrow.
Here they are again, an offload from Clemmer this time. Pearce hurdles, it's Connor hurdling his way through the defence. They race into Titans territory again.
Yes.
Pearce, Ponga, numbers here. Fitzgibbon tried to link with the outside men but couldn't. Final play. On the front foot now, the Knights, as Pearce goes high across the ground towards Kenny Dowell through the fingertips of Sammy. Ramian can't get there, and Sammy stays in the field of play.
That was beautiful from Newcastle. A half break from Watson, and then they just went bang, 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 and zipped it straight to the left edge as Gavay puts on a huge shot on Brian Kelly. Oh, yeah, here come the Knights.
They're trying to force an error. Anthony Don seeks safety, skidding into the turf and underneath. Plenty of arms and elbows and knees. Arrow says, come at me.
Great run.
Terrific run.
What a settler for the Titans. Making contact and continuing to go forward. Just taking the sting out of this defensive line, which is up again quickly here on Boyd. Roberts drives it across the ground again towards the western sideline where it straightens. And Ponga on it now, but at the wrong end of the field. Sean Kenny-Dowell goes long to Edric Lee. Edric can't get away from Cartwright, but he stands, skips free now, and Edric Lee takes a few more metres. Shut down by King eventually. Sean Kenny-Dowell. There is so much go forward suddenly for Newcastle.
There is, and there must be something wrong with Ash Taylor. He has not been in this second half at all for the Titans. As they roll downfield, the Knights through
Look at this, Heimel Hunt. And believe it or not, Newcastle about to go past Gold Coast in terms of run metres. They spotted them 500 difference at one stage. Pearce, Ponga, Watson. Where's this been now? It's left behind by Ramian. They will look back and rue their mistakes this afternoon.
They have looked so much better in this second half, Newcastle, when they've played to a long edge and they've just gone long ball to Pearce, long ball to Ponga, long ball to Watson. And there you see Ramian. He was on the outside of Kelly. He had some space. Couldn't hang on to it.
11 errors now for Newcastle, 3 leading directly to Gold Coast tries, and who knows how many more costing Newcastle tries. There's the difference right now at 14 points.
Well, there was the first half run meters. Top left hand, there's the second half, where Newcastle have absolutely monstered them, 826 to 377. The Titans have just protected their lead, haven't they? Got out to 28-0. And as you said, Matt, started looking towards next week. Ash Taylor has not played a role in this second half. He is moseying around the back, and he's left all the work to Tyrone Roberts.
He's done all the kicks, hasn't he?
He's had 1 run for 9 metres, and he's missed 6 tackles.
Here he is now, to the line and passing for Roberts to go on for Gordon. Brian Kelly straightens into the tackle of Watson. Inside the last 10. That pass was dubious for Boyd, and he's driven backwards. I think Shannon thought he was going to be a decoy runner, and the ball ended up in his possession. Tyrone again, the kicker, down towards Kalen Ponga. And he dives towards the ground, 15 out. Again, Gold Coast get Newcastle to start the set in their own 20. Hunt's been good for them, especially in this second half. Levi flat for Pearce, inside to Ponga. He can't twist clear of the tackle from Copley. Levi out of dummy half. He takes tackle 5, and they're still their own side of halfway. Ponga drives it over the head of Anthony Don, and it rolls towards the sideline and over it. But they need attacking kicks at the end of their sets now, the Knights.
Yeah, any other week you would have said that was a great kick, and he knows it. You can see by the body language they needed the ball to stay in play there. And now the Titans get a chance to... Well, look at Shannon Boyd there. He's near sucking in the dirt. I mean, he's breathing that heavy. Bloke's bootlaces are getting dragged towards his mouth.
there for Gold Coast, mate.
Michael Ennis, I know you love holidaying in your Snapper Rocks penthouse, but
Everyone's there, mate.
the poor old Newcastle Knights, they're staring at 9 straight defeats north of the Tweed.
Hold here, wait, Tim.
Hasn't been a happy hunting ground over the Queensland border at all, has it, for the Newcastle Knights in recent times? And they're ruining a lethargic start. They were ordinary in the first half, really poor. Nathan Brown's got a response from his side in the second half.
Well, that's the positive, isn't it? The response from Newcastle, but does it outweigh that terrible first 40? And the start they gave an opposition again after talking about it this week. Here's Rain, up the middle.
Good run. Really good run. He's been good today, Mitch Rain.
The completion again will fall to Tyrone Roberts, maybe because of the leg injury that Ash Taylor has wrestled with all week. Not a lot of involvement in the second half, especially on the kicking front. Edric Lee can't get away from the tackle. It's a really good chase.
Shannon Boyd, that's phenomenal.
He ran like a back rower. I'd check the number, Mick. Ramian skips through and offloads Sean Kenny Dow. Still going Sean Kenny Dow. Where's some support? He needs it. No one's there, so SKD says, I'll just keep going. And now he gets a penalty.
They didn't need the penalty.
They've
got to go left.
Levi.
Oh, they're shot to the right-hand side. Ash Taylor's screaming at defenders. Watson goes right.
Levi now into dummy half, but the defensive line looks better for Gold Coast. Glasby. Still onto the left. Levi scurries into dummy half. Make sure the ball goes that way. Pierce flat. They need it as a support player. Fitzgibbon was looking for Ponga, who couldn't get there in time. Clemmer. He throws the ball on the ground and straight into the possession of Mitch Rain. How did they not score there, the Knights?
They had ample opportunity to strike to their left-hand side. And for one reason or another, Danny Levi took the quick tap and went right. So too Watson on the next play. And by the time they got the ball out towards that left-hand side, Glasby needed to play out the back to Ponga. Didn't do so. And the Titans' defensive line adjusted. And in the end, David Clement comes up with errors. Here's the Titans' next 5 games. They've got the Tigers, the Cowboys away, the Sharks at home, so too the Bulldogs, and then they run into the Seagulls away.
Back-to-back wins headed their way, though. Some confidence into those 5 games as Sammy takes tackle 5. We're off to Canberra next. Raiders against the Brisbane Broncos. And Rain says, let's drive it in the touch. Let's have a breather. And let's see that clock tick down some more. So Newcastle, their next 5. Well, next up they return home against Parramatta at Newcastle, followed by the Warriors, the Dogs, Dragons and Roosters.
Just don't change positions. Keep
some
working
tricky
in, Gold
games to
Coast.
come. Round 9, of course, Magic round not far from here. Suncorp Stadium hosting all 8 games, but the next game, which we keep promoting, I'm really looking forward to, the Raiders against Brisbane. And Justin, I was speaking to Michael Ennison talking about the fact they'd had the best defence through 5 rounds, the Raiders, since 1990, the last time they did that. I asked Mick what he was doing in Canberra. He said, I'm the defensive coach.
He's obviously doing a lot down there, but what an exciting game. This one's going to be the Broncos up against the Raiders down there in the nation's capital. The Broncos really need a victory down there to start their season.
Gavitz at the wrong end of the field.
It'll be a great test for the likes of Haas. David Fafita off a hand Goway in the middle of the field with no Lodge, and Tavita Pangai still out. Big opportunity for them, Hodjo, as you just touched on. And for the Newcastle Knights, just looking at some of the stats of this man, Caleb Ponga. He's up over 200 metres carrying the ball. He's had 6 tackle busts and 3 line breaks. As Pearce rolls the dice.
Tries to chip the defence, instead it sits up for Anthony Don, and Gold Coast can counter through Michael Gordon, collared by Fitzgibbon. Is there another try in the Titans? They put 30 points on Penrith last week, 28 so far on the Knights, and considering that they were struggling to score through the first 4 rounds. Suddenly the tries are flowing for the Titans. Despite plenty of obstacles on the injury front. And the suspension of Jared Wallace. Taylor for Roberts, so good for them now, back-to-back games. Here's Peachy on to Cartwright, back to Peachy. Still going, Tyrone. Peachy all the way through, bamboozling them all with steps and jinks, ducks and weaves.
What a play.
Last play, Roberts rubbers towards the in goal, chases and dives on the ball. Just reward for a huge fortnight from Tyrone Roberts.
I need to confirm it. You're
to
happy with
ice
the leader.
the win for the Titans.
H, back to tackle 1, mate. I got to try. Just confirming that Tyrone Roberts grounds the ball.
Well, we speak about Cody Walker and his instincts and what you've touched on there, Matt. That's a try.
Tyrone
and
Roberts
his last
grounds the ball in the
fortnight
end goal. We have a decision.
has been outstanding. And he's taking control here this afternoon with Ash Taylor playing minimal impact on the game. The number 6 has been everywhere for the Titans. A wonderful opening 40 minutes. And to close out the game, the former Newcastle Knight off the left boot, dribbles it in behind. This was the offload. Tyrone Peachy, it was just dazzling, wasn't he? Turned them inside out. Look at Glasby. Couldn't get near him, couldn't get a glove on him. Beautiful to watch. And then the ball, again, the width from Rain, gets them outside a number of defenders and off the inside of his boot. Desperate from Gabay on the inside, but all class. From the number 6 from the Titans, Tyrone Roberts couldn't believe his eyes as the ball sat up.
Fair to say we haven't seen the best of Tyrone Peachy since he arrived at the Titans. Maybe he's starting to find his way, but that man, fantastic last week against Penrith, and today a try. It makes it a try in consecutive games, Justin, along with a try assist and 630 kick metres, a double today. So 3 tries in 2 outings. But the kick metres.
630 kick metres shows that he's dominated the kicking with 21. 2 tries, had a hand, as it says there, I mean, try assist, but he's had a hand in almost all of them in terms of what he did throughout the set. A couple of times just firing balls across field, giving them great width on the pass and an opportunity to attack on the opposite side of the field. And it is dire straits for the Newcastle Knights at the moment. 1 win, 5 losses to start the season. Who would have thought? 6 from 6 today.
After 5 from 5 last week. He's kicked 13 in a row now, Michael Gordon. His 14th NRL season. Will it be his last? Yet to make an official announcement. But this to make it 20 points the difference with 90 seconds to play. I've scored 5 tries to 3. And lead it now 34-14. I've paid a price. Kevin Proctor ruled out a minute before kickoff. Ryan James following in the first half. 2 of their lead forwards. So it's a huge result for the Titans.
It's a massive result. You talk about that guy there, Tyrone Peachy. Ryan James went off. He's moved into the left-hand side and played back row. And that's just unbelievable
Tell me when you're there,
talent.
Sharpie. You're there. Right, onside. Wait, mate. It's time off and won't start until I blow the whistle, all right?
The
Okay,
ability
onside.
to adapt, play any position where he needed to. See a short kick here.
Plenty of Titans are there. Gavitt brushes the ball backwards and Gold Coast get the penalty.
In front.
Offside the
the
ruling.
line.
Sean Kenny-Dow, the offender.
Sean's offside, mate.
You're right,
Raiders.
Justin. I think the fact that Tyrone Peachy, that's his play.
Offside.
What we just saw on the left-hand side of the field where they come across and they bring him back underneath to change angle and he skips through that middle third of the field against tired defenders. That's when Peachy's at his best. And in doing so, he picked up his former clubman in Bryce Cartwright, who got the offload and brought him into the game. That's when Peachy's at his best.
Gold Coast scored 36 points through the first month of footy. Now they've scored 64 in the last fortnight.
Jesse!
And they're not done yet. Time to get through a number of tackles before full time here. Maybe they can hit 40. This is Arrow, who pulled off that magnificent shot on Clemmer to knock the Origin forwards backward.
The bench has been terrific today. Sammy, huge impact, 214 metres. King, Whitbread and Stockwell, they've really played their part this afternoon.
Rain onto Roberts. Ashton, a beautiful inside pass. Rugby league perfection. Iced by Michael Gordon. No need to check that one. Beautiful. What a statement. What an exclamation mark at the end of it all. A 6-try romp to the Gold Coasts. And they'll kick to make it 40 points to 14.
Well, sit back and enjoy this. A lovely wide pass again from Rain. Roberts squares up the defensive line, and the skill there from Bryce Cartwright, the right edge back rower. Watch this. Squares up the line nicely, Roberts. There's Taylor. And isolate Pearce. And the ever-reliable clubman, Michael Gordon. What a season he's having. What a fortnight it's been for the veteran. What an exclamation mark on this game. 38 points to 14. And the Newcastle Knights, they are shattered. They are absolutely in disarray.
So Michael Gordon trying to raise 40, which will be the most the Titans have scored against Newcastle. And if he kicks it, he'll have the most points a Titan has scored against the Knights. 18, can he go to 20? Remember, he scored 30 for Penrith against South all those years ago, which stands as a Penrith record for most points in a game. Can he have the most by a Titan against the Knights? So life might begin at 40 for the Titans. Back-to-back wins. Can they go to 40 points? And a 26-point win. It's waved away. He fluffs his last attempt. So 38-14, 6 tries to 3. A resounding win for the Gold Coast Titans.